flow. We dissect the plot. The acting is insane. Laughing at the dialogue. These movies are a pain. Grab your popcorn, settle in for the ride. Our podcast is the place where bad movies collide. We're true blue fans of the RiffTrax crew, mocking cheesy films. It's what they love to do. From Plan 9 to The Room, we've seen it all. They'll make you laugh and cringe. They always give their all. True Blue Riffcast, we're your podcast hosts, talking about the movies that are the worst of the worst. True Blue Riffcast, join us on this quest to find the laughs in films that failed the test. Tuesdays at 10. Tuesdays at 10. Tuesdays at 10.
Hey guys, welcome to the True Blue Riffcast with your hosts, Jeremy and Dave. My name is Christine DeBelle, but many of you know me as Susan from A Talking Cat. And as you know, I have to go and get my cheese puffs out of the oven. So have a great time with Jeremy and Dave. See you soon.
Thanks, Christine. This is the True Blue Riffcast, the number one RiffTrax podcast in the world. I am Jeremy, and I am joined, as always, by...
What's up? I'm Dave. I'm not very happy right now, guys. I just got done watching this movie. What the hell? I don't even know what the name of it is. The Phantom Empire. It's directed by Fred Olen Ray, and I'm very upset that this man is still alive. It was not a good time.
Oh, but it was better than some other movies that it could have been, which I'm sure we'll mention again.
I guess
later. Yeah, the Phantom Empire. Well, Dave also is going to talk about Psycho 2 a little bit because
a little bit. We might as well because I watched
that
the thing. Yeah,
from last week, and then shit happened, literally.
And then Jeremy had a tummy ache.
Yeah. Giant spider invasion? No.
What about giant spider invasion?
I'm looking at chat.
Okay.
First, Dave, how you been?
I'm okay. I mean, it's been a while. We took last week off because your tummy ache. And then we played RiffTrax the game before that, and we both, I played. You won.
Yeah, actually
I played
one.
like garbage. It's been bad the last few times with RiffTrax the games. I used to be really good, and now I'm not. So we're gonna have to turn that around.
You know what's been bad? Work.
Oh,
last weekend was the first weekend in a long time that I had to deal with a bunch of idiot kids and kicking a bunch of people out, and
it seems like that's all you do.
Yeah, sometimes. But I did get the pleasure of finally getting to tell someone that we've kicked out at least 3 times that I'm aware of in the last month that he's no longer welcome in our building and he can't ever come back again. And he was like, "Why? What'd I do? What'd I do?" And I'm like, "Dude, we kicked you out for this. We kicked you out for this. And we kicked you out for this."
What'd
No,
you
I
kick him
didn't
out
do
for?
any of that stuff. I'm like, "Yeah, dude, you did." And then he threw some
What
slurs.
did he do?
Oh, he's just being an idiot, a dumb white teenager who likes to try and instigate stuff for video content.
Okay.
He came up to me at the manager's desk and was just like, "Hey, why is that movie called Captain America? That's not Captain America. Captain America's supposed to be white," and like just stupid stuff like that. But his buddy had his camera going, and they were trying to get a reaction out of me. And instead, I just went nerd mode, and I gave him a history of the different people who have played Captain America in the comics. And he didn't like that, so he walked away, and then he got kicked out like 15 minutes after I left for the day. But yeah, so that was fun. Most of the people that I had to kick out was because their parents dipped, and it was after curfew, and like the whole thing is you have to stay with them. If you're chaperoning them, you have to stay there, and they didn't. I did have one couple that I had to kick out at like 3:00 in the afternoon. They were the only two in the theater, and I'll give you one guess as to what they were doing.
They were having sex.
Unfortunately. But yeah, I not looking forward to this weekend because we've got 2 monster releases coming out.
Are they PG-13 monster movies?
No, Lilo and Stitch and the new Mission Impossible. And they're both going to do really big numbers, and I'm scared for my physical health after I get done working for the weekend. Because it's going to be worse than Minecraft was, and that was a disaster. Yes, Rivius, I agree. The movie theater is not. Oh, no, you were asking the question. No, it's not a free babysitting service.
So before we move on to the weekend box office, should I tell my story about this podcast at work?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
How about that?
So I told this story when we were in the chat when we were playing RiffTrax the game a couple weeks ago. Jeremy, we don't put these podcasts up into podcast land immediately.
We don't, but I'd like to get better at fixing that.
Yeah, it's
because we're finally caught up. Everything's out there now. Hopefully, I'll have this one up either. It should be tomorrow.
Yeah, it's fine. No judgment. I'm not casting shade on that. But sometimes, like I want to change things up in the car. Like I used to, like when I had riders in the car, it used to be like nice music or silence, right? And then here lately, I've been like, it's been about, I would say, in the last 8 or 9 months, I have stopped caring. And it's just like, you're in my car, you can listen to what I'm listening to. You know? So, and just to change things up a little bit, like I have had our podcast on in the car before. And it's usually like one where I know or at least I don't remember I've said anything untoward, as, you know, I am known to do. And the most recent one that had come out, like I think like that day or the day before, was our Karate Kid riff, not our Karate Kid riff, but our podcast about the Karate Kid riff. Now, Karate Kid. Now, guys, it's pretty well established that I don't remember very much about the podcast after we're done with them. But I thought it would be okay because the Karate Kid is pretty harmless. I mean, like, what in the hell am I going to say that's going to be like untoward about the Karate Kid? Right. Of course, I would assume that. But then again, I forgot that it's me we're talking about. So I have a ride, and there's a scene in the Karate Kid where Daniel-san throws his bike into a dumpster. And his mom is like, "Why are you throwing your bike into a dumpster?" And we were making fun of this particular scene. And Daniel-san did like a little weenie. And then I was making fun of Daniel San, and I said, and I had a writer, a female writer in the car when I said this. When I said this, luckily I could play it off because I hadn't talked to this woman at all. It was like 5 or 6 in the morning, and I was taking her to work at a gas station at a Maverick here in northern Utah. Won't say where. And I was heard to remark when he was arguing with his mom about when he threw his bike away, be like, I wish we'd never moved away from New Jersey. And then I said on the podcast, I'm going to go watch Pooh Corner and masturbate. Okay, number one, I don't remember saying this at all. Number two, I immediately thought, why did I say that? And then Jeremy laughs in the podcast. And then I said in the podcast, I don't know why I said that. I apologized immediately to my writer. And she was like, fortunately she was laughing. She was being like, oh, he got a little carried away there, didn't he? And I was like, yeah, he sure did. It's and I was like, oh God, I was so embarrassed. But I don't know, so clearly the joke is that Daniel San is a little weenie and that he masturbates while watching Pooh Corner. Why would I? But why is that? I know there's a thing. I have a thing on Robot Co-op where I've said to Rick, and we even talk about it in the audiobook commentary for Monkey. Me and Rick, we talk about this phenomenon of Winnie the Pooh Sephiroth slashfic. Sephiroth, no, that's a real thing. Look it up. And that's one of my things that I always go back to is that Winnie the Pooh Sephiroth slashfic erotica art and prose exists. It's like my very own pregnant Sonic. And I'm just amused endlessly that this is a real thing. And so maybe a little bit of that was in my head. I've never witnessed, I've seen one little image of it, but it's not explicit. It's just Pooh putting his nose up to Sephiroth. Ooh, I love you, Sephi. And Pooh's mother. Sephiroth is mother.
Okay,
but,
before we start getting too deep into things like we did a couple weeks ago talking about shifters.
I'm getting cut off.
Yeah, I want to say I just added that to the True Blue Lexicon Pooh Corner. That's forever in the lexicon now. But I am going to cut Dave off, and we are going to go into the weekend box office. The number one movie of last weekend, Final Destination: Bloodlines, bringing in $51 million.
What is that?
What, Final Destination?
No, but is it a prequel, a soft reboot? What's going on there?
Okay, so this movie takes place partially before all of the other Final Destination movies, and then the rest of it takes place after all of the other Final Destination movies. It's kind of the thing that creates the through line for the entire series.
Yeah, exactly. You can't have Tony Todd. You can't have Final Destination without Tony Todd.
He was in this one. It was his last role that he filmed, yeah.
Oh. He's dead now.
Yeah. Hence Citizen Yarn's rip Tony Todd. Thunderbolts into second place, Sinners into third, a Minecraft movie still hanging in fourth, and The Accountant 2 in at fifth. And this is all going to go out the window starting on Thursday night when we all die at the movie theater. Yeah, Sinners was really good.
You keep saying that and you're all still alive.
Rivius, they did do that with a previous Final Destination, kind of. Final Destination 5 ended up just being a prequel to the first one.
Oh, okay.
So
didn't it end it showed be oh, we're on the plane that was in the first Final Destination.
5 ended with them getting on the plane or whatever from from the first movie.
I remember I remember seeing the first Final Destination when I was 19, year one in the Army. And I thought, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I tried to watch it again recently, and it was so bad. And I was like, oh my gosh, was I an idiot?
Yes, you were 19, Dave.
Yeah.
Okay, we were discussing this earlier. We couldn't quite remember whose turn it was for this
I
little
think
game.
I think it's mine.
We both just concluded that it's Dave's turn, so it's time for Dave That Riff.
Dave That Ref. Woo! Oh yeah, Jeremy told me that he wanted to give Oliver what he wants after all this time, and give kind of reference Lancelot, but he decided not to.
Yeah, I was going to do Lancelot, Guardian of Time, and Merlin the Return together.
Oh, ew.
But I decided on going through two movies that kind of have a connection to the Phantom Empire, which we're going to talk about tonight here. Wonder Woman versus Jacko.
Oh, God.
Wonder Woman, I picked that one. Ross Hagen, our lead from the Phantom Empire, was also the lead in Wonder Woman. And Jacko had Dawn Wilde-Smith, I believe. I'm double-checking right now. Yes. And she was Eddie in this movie.
Well, I remember Jacko about Jacko. I mean, I remember a little bit about Wonder Woman. Fun fact: Wonder Woman: The Riff was released 10 years ago in January, so it's over a decade old. Chew on that.
God, already?
Yep.
Ooh. Yeah, Dave, I think you need to turn me down a little bit.
Turn you down?
Yeah, I'm echoing.
How's that?
That is a little better. I'm still echoing a little bit. Is that good?
I'll just move the microphone away over there.
That could probably help too.
Okay, how's that?
There's a little echo, but whatever, it's fine. All right, here's your first quote. Wait, what's a killer pumpkin doing in this movie about a dad planning his haunted garage? Is that Wonder Woman or Jacko?
I said that's Jacko.
Oh, you kind of froze up. I don't know. Yes,
No.
You're right. That is Jacko. It is.
I thought I was going to move my microphone way over here.
1 for 1, Dave. All right. Yeah, he's faking, but bury him anyway.
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah? Did you answer that one?
What?
I said, yeah, he's faking, but bury him anyway.
Oh, I thought you were talking to chat. I'm going to say that's Jacko.
That is indeed Jacko. See, I told you got nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Brain sex? Please don't let Sting hear about this.
Wonder Woman?
That is Wonder Woman.
Okay. I was completely unsure. Just took a stab in the dark.
Oh, man. A lot of paid professional stuntmen took some serious risks on this shoot.
Oh, that's Wonder
Paid
Woman.
professional stunt what now?
I don't even need to hear the rest. I heard stunt people. That is Wonder Woman.
That is 100% Wonder Woman. One of two movies where the stunt people definitely got really injured.
I think someone might have died.
Let's see. Fog fluid. That's why fog hat groupies had to go to the doctor.
Say again?
Fog fluid. That's why fog hat groupies had to go to the doctor.
Jacko.
Oh. Information. That is this one, neither of these are a riff. This is just a quote straight from the movie.
Okay.
And you'll get this 100%. Information. That is a priceless commodity. Yeah, just like sex.
Wonder Woman.
featuring our wonderful Ross Hagen.
Ross Hagen.
You went 6 for 6, Dave. See?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I told you you'd do good.
Nice.
And speaking of Ross Hagen, I don't know why I'm saying his name like that. It's time to talk about The Phantom Empire. This movie had like zero story. It was a lot of walking through caves, a lot of really bad monster makeups, mask things, and Sybil Danning. Because
and Michelle Bauer and her ridiculous boobs, and Jeffrey Combs, who was in this after he was in Reanimator somehow.
Yes. So, this movie, honestly, like I was looking at the behind the scenes stuff for this, and this is more interesting than the movie itself.
Yeah. So I saw this. I actually started watching this like 2 hours ago. Because I was basically like, I'm going to watch it really close to the podcast so that I can remember it and have interesting things to say.
Yes, Oliver.
Because
that's
our
exactly
job
why
on
she
the
was in this movie.
Is to talk about the movie. And I saw that it was directed by Fred Olen Ray, and I was like, I'm out. And I was like, no, you can't. You can't do this.
And the reason that we're so worried about them that they keep releasing Fred Olen Ray movies is because eventually
Dinosaur Island.
We're gonna get to Dinosaur Island, which is Ross Hagen was in also. It's still weird that Fred here went from these low budget sleazy movies to Hallmark Christmas movies. Like every time I see that.
Yeah, like I was looking at his oeuvre, and like he's still directing movies. I think his most recent movies, I mean, it's still recent for us because we're old now. But he like did a movie in like what, 2017?
The last one that he made was 2024.
Oh, then I was completely wrong.
Royal Christmas Ballet.
Sounds like something my friend Haley Pullis would be in. God. No, like, okay, so first of all, the first thing that I noticed about this movie is like, you know, like in the early days of the podcast, we did a lot of monster movies. And we had a lot of discussion about monster costumes and like creature and creature design.
The really bad ones.
Stuff like that. Yeah. And we haven't really done something like that. I don't know if this one counts because the creatures are just like so cheap and bad.
I mean, it has to count because it is a movie and it's in.
Yeah, but like it's not central. And it's like not about those monsters, you know. It's not okay. It's not the God Monster of Indian Flats, which I think I don't know how it could possibly get worse than that.
And then you watch this movie and you're like, oh wow.
Oh no, there is one that's worse, and it was like in some I think it was some Roger Corman movie that Matthew J. and Ian did.
The creature of the Haunted Sea.
Yeah, that. I think that might be worse. I think it's a toss up between that and God Monster of Indian Flats. But these monsters are pretty bad. Like I was like, oh fuck these monsters. You know? Like it was just, it's like the worst. It's the worst kind of like plastic mask bullshit that you can imagine. And then it somehow gets worse with the human head. like it rips this guy's head off.
Yeah, but there's a reason. There's a reason for that.
Okay.
The reason for that was because, hang on, I got to find it. Because the guy already had a prop head of himself.
Okay.
He owned a prop head of himself. The actor that was that asshole character in the prologue, the one who was yelling that he was going to beat his son, and then he was yelling that he was going to go beat his dog. I'm going to go find that dog and beat its ass.
Okay, so they featured these monsters at the beginning, like these monsters are going to be the thing, that they're going to be like whatever the Phantom Empire is, and it's not.
I mean, there are like 5 or 6 of them that we see through the throughout the film.
Yeah, I know, but okay, so that ends, and then these credits, and this is when I saw that it was Fred Olen Ray, and these obnoxious credits that keep like interrupting a scene.
Yeah,
like you think it's over, and then the credits come back, and then the scene continues, and then the credits come back, and I'm like, you have to stop this. This is not. I don't know why you think this is. I
did it like 4 times.
I don't know what this technique is of splitting up the credits like this between, like, I guess, like the introductory scene, because it was an active scene.
Yeah.
That they kept cutting into,
and they
to the
kept
credits.
going right back to it.
What's that?
They kept going right back to the scene. It wasn't.
Yeah,
like
no, they kept going right
scenes.
back to the scene where, like, Richard Hagen and his 2 lady friends are talking about going to go find the lost volcano city of gold. So, like, important story exposition is happening, and the credits keep getting cut back to. And I was like, why is this a thing? And then I saw Fred Olen Ray, and I was like, fuck off. Just fuck off. And that's when, like, my brain shut down as a pure defense mechanism.
So
that, like, and I was just like, okay, I know that nothing is going to matter, and that I shouldn't even try.
Yeah. So this movie started development while he was filming a different movie called Commando Squad. And he was in the area where a serial film from 1935 was filmed, and it was called The Phantom Empire. And it starred Gene Autry as himself, the singing cowboy, and they were looking for an ancient subterranean civilization in the caves by his ranch, underneath his ranch.
Okay.
So that's where he got the idea for the movie.
But you know what? I noticed that I saw this on the Wikipedia page, and it said that, like, he said that he wasn't getting, like, enough return from his, like, work as a director for hire. Fred, maybe that's because your movies are terrible and you're a bad director. But no, he didn't. He's like, maybe I should like refine my craft as a director so that I make good movies, so that I can get better returns and get hired to go do better movies and maybe work with, like, Steven Spielberg or something. Like, you know, Back to the Future was just a couple years ago, you know, and, you know, maybe I can do something like that. No. He decides that he wants to go into production and, like, make, like, crap movies that he owns and that he can sell to idiots. And his thing was, and I couldn't believe this when I read it, is that he wanted to call this, like, he wanted to ape off the success, like just like some kind of, like, he wanted to ape off the success, like, it was like Journey to the Center of the Earth. And
it was a version that Canon Films was making at the time.
Yes, exactly that. And I saw that it was Canon, and he wanted to ape off Menachem Golan and Johann Globus.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you doing? like that's you. Okay, first of all, Menachem Golan will have you killed. He doesn't give a fuck.
No, he doesn't.
I will kill you, Fred Olen Ray. I will kill you.
So
I could just see him. I could just see him on the set of The Apple ordering Fred Olen Ray's murder.
Yeah. He ended up casting during the pre-production while he was filming Commando Squad, and he just ended up casting a bunch of people that were in that movie. including, of course, Ross Hagen and Dawn Wildsmith, who was Fred Olen Ray's wife at the time. He already had other actors that he wanted to hire, including Jeffrey Combs, who was in his movie Cyclone, and he thought the idea of shooting this movie on such a short notice was a challenge. And now
shit. This movie was shot in 6 days.
Yeah, and now he's like, I don't want to even think about that movie. It was awful.
Who said this? Fred Olen Ray or
Jeffrey Combs? But believe it or not, this was a union-made movie. It was a SAG union-sanctioned movie.
That's shocking.
Yeah. He shot it in 6 days. He has a whole bunch of stuff in this movie that are from other movies.
We'll get to that.
Not just the actors. The gun that Ross Hagen was using was his gun that he had custom made in the Philippines during the making of Wonder Woman.
RiffTrax connection number 1. Let's just get ahead of it and get to RiffTrax connection number 2. Is that later on in the movie when they're in the underground society with the volcano titty people, a dinosaur comes out, and it's this. I recognized it immediately. I was like, that is the T-Rex from Planet of Dinosaurs. And I was gonna go to RiffTrax.com right after the movie ended and be like, I'm going to confirm it. Like, they threw the spear, and I was like, that is a shot from Planet of Dinosaurs directly. And I'm going to confirm it, but then they went ahead and confirmed it in the riff. So I was like, okay, I don't have to do that. But yeah, I was like, how bad is your movie that you're taking footage from Planet of Dinosaurs?
So, again, another thing that there's a reason for. Film Ventures International wanted to buy the movie's rights, but they thought that it needed to be 10 minutes longer.
Ugh.
So they brought the actors back to the Vasquez Rocks in L.A. so they could easily integrate the stop-motion dinosaur fight from Planet of the Dinosaurs. That's the whole reason that they're in there. They used it to make some extra scenes to pad the runtime so he could sell the movie to a distributor. So that's two. These people in this movie have been in a bunch of other stuff that's not just Fred Olen Ray. But they've been in other Rift stuff. The Susie Stokey, who she played, I actually went off the page here. She played the Danae Chambers, the rich lady. She was
with the money that smelled like ass.
Yeah. The Power, which was riffed by RiffTrax.
Mm-hmm.
Dawn Wildsmith, Fred Olen Ray's, I don't know, I'm assuming ex-wife, because it said they were married.
Yeah, I'm assuming that as well.
She was in, let's see, Future Force, which I think that was Fred Olen Ray anyway. She was in Future Force, and she was in Jack O. And then, of course, Ross Hagen was in Wonder Woman. Well, I was just talking about it, and it already left my brain. And I think he was in something else too, but I don't see it. He was in the TV series The Fall Guy for one episode. But yeah, he was in. Yeah, he's been in a ton of bad movies. He died back in 2011, so.
Who died in 2011? Ross Hagen?
Ross Hagen.
Yeah. He was all over the place. But
so they're going through this cave system trying to find these trying to find this lost village or whatever that's got all these gems or whatever in it. And they're running away from these mutant creature things, which they had some of the best riffs for these guys.
Yeah.
This was a very, very, very funny riff. The movie is awful and unbearable.
Yeah, the movie is a terrible shit garbage experience.
But with the riffs, it is very, very, very enjoyable. They brought in, like I mentioned, a few props. Randomly, while they're running through the caves, they find a robot. And
Jeremy pointed out to me that it was Robbie the Robot with a different head.
yes, it is actually Robbie the Robot. The guy who owned it then put a different head on it for that movie. When the rich lady gets taken by the mutant things, they're roasting her on a spit. That spit was from History of the World Part 1. The main bad guy played by Sybil Danning, she shows up in like this futuristic car thing. And
Yeah.
that is actually a landmaster from Logan's Run.
Oh, wow.
So this movie, it took from a lot of other movies, literally. But they find a bunch of diamonds randomly in like a pile of dirt, and they fill their pockets, and they run, and they escape.
And Michelle Bauer shows her boobs.
And they seal the cave.
They have a human being in the trunk that they have do stereotypes.
Yes, Pedro.
Yeah, which we're not going to get into.
Nope.
Not worth it.
But everybody lives, they all get away, and they're rich now. The end.
Yeah. At one point, one of the ladies was rolling on a spit in her underwear.
Yeah, that's the rich lady.
And they had like a direct rear shot of her ass and crotch.
Are you surprised? It's Fred Olen Ray.
No, I'm not surprised.
Like I mentioned, Dave, when the first bikini lady shows up, who's actually Michelle Bauer, it was over like right at 30 minutes into the movie, and I messaged Dave, and I'm like, wow, it actually took a half hour for him to get somebody in a bikini.
No, usually I was just like, yeah, here they are.
Yeah. No, Citizen Yarn, they were all incompetent with a foam rubber pillow. Yes.
But okay, so like, but in like the last little like car chase through the caves,
just so stupid.
Someone had the sense to give Michelle Bauer a jacket.
That was Jeffrey Combs.
It's like, here, put him away. Nobody cares.
That Ross Hagen was like, hey, would you mind giving her something to cover up? I can't concentrate on anything else.
But that's like her thing, man. She like shows up in these B movies and be like, well, here they are. Like, do I get paid?
I wonder if she was.
But this movie was a pile. I would recommend getting it. For the riffs, of course. But man, it's like Fred Olen Ray is not a good movie maker.
No, and he might be better now that he's doing these other like Christmassy movies with like Hallmark money. Because it's not like you have to be an amazingly good director to make these little drama cozy things. Oh my gosh, she was. Okay.
What? What?
She was also in Dinosaur Island.
Michelle Bauer?
Yes.
I believe it. I haven't seen that movie in like 8 years. Thankfully, a lot of it has left me, but unfortunately, page 34 will never leave me. That's with me forever.
That will always currently be running through my head at some point.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else to say about
scared. I'm really scared that we're gonna get that movie. But Dave and I were talking about this beforehand. It's like, okay, we did survive watching Amazing Bulk again.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I made a joke that like when they do Dinosaur Island, we just end the podcast.
Yep, that's it. That's as soon as
Like
when they do that movie.
Podcast
That's it.
over. 7 years? No, 6 years, 7 seasons. It's a good run. Can't like I'm amazed it went this long. But no, we're still here. No, guys, we're not gonna end the podcast. Don't worry about it.
No. Like we would let Fred Olen Ray determine whether or not our podcast kept going.
So
All right, Dave, you ready to talk about your little bit of info on Psycho 2?
yeah, well, Psycho 2, I think to talk about Psycho 2, I think it's more effective to talk about the Psycho. Is it a franchise? I guess technically it is, because
Well,
there's
they
like
made
4 movies.
4 movies and a prequel TV show.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like that TV show, I watched a little bit of it because it was like in 2013, 2012, 2013.
5 seasons. Holy crap.
Yeah, I know, and it had it had Batman well in it. What's that guy's name?
Oh,
He was Richard
Nestor
on Lost.
Carbonell.
Yeah, he was in it. But
Wasn't he in Lost too?
yeah, he was Richard. He was the guy who didn't age.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be more effective to talk about the Psycho franchise as a whole, and I think that'll put Psycho 2 in more perspective. It was originally, of course, it was a best-selling novel by Robert Bloch, right? I think so. And then, of course, everybody knows that it was
And a remake, right, Michael?
The movie is this great big iconic, the shower scene, the thing that everybody knows is that. Now, I didn't see it until I think I was in like my 30s, and I already knew. I was surprised at how little I knew about Psycho. And I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to start watching all these movies that like I missed growing up and like I've heard so much about. And I watched Psycho, and now I thought that like, okay, I knew that Norman Bates, spoilers for Psycho, everybody, by the way. I knew that Norman Bates was the killer.
Yeah.
And I knew that he dressed up like his mom. And I knew that Janet Leigh died like halfway through, or like unexpectedly. You thought the film was about her, and then it turns out she gets murdered. It's like a very, very Drew Barrymore in Scream kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I knew those things. I didn't know anything else, and I assumed like it was one of the greatest mysteries of all time. and I thought like, okay, well, I know the twist going in. Let's see how they get there. Which is like how I deal with most movies that have been spoiled for me. That's how I enjoy it. It's like I like to analyze what they're doing and how they're going to get to the place that I already know that they're going to get to. It wasn't a mystery. He is literally the only person at the motel. Like, she's a piece of garbage. She's trying. My memory of it is anyway. Is that because I think I watched it like 10 years ago or something. She like ripped off her boss, I think, and was gonna go run away and like take the money and run. Yeah. And he stays overnight at the Bates Motel, and no one is at this motel except Norman. And there's the house up above it, the iconic house, the iconic Psycho house. And his mom is up and saying, "No, man," right? So no, I thought it was going to be a mystery that like, and he was going to be like just one of the suspects, and like, oh my gosh, it's really him, and he's dressed up like his mom. What a psychopath, right? A psycho, as one would say.
Yeah.
But no, it's just him. He's acting like a psycho from the very beginning. Very clearly, it's him. Like there's nobody else it's going to be. In my opinion, there's nobody else that could possibly have been. It's going to be him or his mom. And even if it's his mom, you're led to believe that it's mom, but it turns out to be him later. I don't know. I don't buy the twist that it was like this big crazy thing. But I think the twist was supposed to be that Janet Leigh died halfway through. Like that one was so shocking to everybody.
Yeah.
And they pull her thing out of there. And then they have, her sister comes and he dresses up like his mom and tries to kill her. And they have this big, they have this long, I guess they used to have these in movies, these long end scene where they explain everything that you just saw. They just lay out the whole solution. And they start talking about like some really gross stuff about
yes, just like Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah, they say some really gross stuff about what they assume Norman was. Like they assumed that like he dressed up like his mom for like, to watch Pooh Corner and masturbate. That's what they say. And it was just like, no, he's just crazy and he's going around killing people dressed as his mom because he's acting out like he felt guilty because he murdered his mom and now he's committing all the murders that he thinks his mom would want him to. I don't know. It was really stupid. Don't buy it. Lots of other people like it. I think it might be overrated. So anyway, then we have Psycho 2. Yeah, but it was like this big hit. And like, this just goes to show you that Hollywood was even creatively bankrupt in 1983 when they're like, hey, let's do more Psychos. And you can definitely tell that this movie was made in 1983 and not the 1960s.
Well, and the story behind it's kind of interesting because it's one of those things where the guy who wrote the first book was currently working on a sequel book.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay, hurry up and finish this so we can make the movie. And he's like, I'm not going to hurry this because of you guys. And then they're like, fine, we're just going to make the movie. And they're completely different. It's just like with the Lost World.
Dexter. Oh, what? Oh, the Lost World?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The book is way different from the Lost World movie. It's
I read the Lost World. I didn't think that I'm a big Crichton fan, or Crichton. I think it is Crichton, but some people say Crichton. I'm like, no, it's Crichton.
Michael Crichton.
Michael Crichton.
Yeah,
everyone knows this. I didn't think it was as good as Jurassic Park. I didn't think the books, by the way, the books. And then there's this weird thing where they say that Dragon Teeth is like a prequel. It's like, oh, that's the real Jurassic Park 3. I read it. Not buying that. What was I saying? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Psycho 2. So Norman Bates has been in the Bug House for like what, 22 years?
Yeah, it was 20-something years.
Anyway, so he gets out, and Lila Loomis is there, and it's being like, you should not be letting Dexter Morgan out. He is going to kill again. And so they take him back, like his lawyer, Robert Loggia. Somehow is able, like he is somehow able to hold on to for 22 years, go away into an insane asylum after killing 7 people, go away, and somehow, they even say this in the riff, somehow your house and your motel won't be repossessed and like sold to other people. Like he maintained control of it somehow. It's never explained how that happens. But anyway, so he goes back there and he spent 22 years in the asylum, and they thought that the best thing to do was to return him to the site of his trauma so that he can immediately relapse. So Lila Loomis has this plan that she and her daughter, I think, we're going to get him to like show, not murder people, but like show that he's insane, that he needs to go back. They thought that they were being altruistic and doing the right thing by the public to do this. I get it, but it's the wrong way to do it.
Yeah.
And apparently it gets lots of people killed, but he gets a job at he gets a job as a short order cook, which doesn't make sense to me, because why doesn't he just work at the motel that he owns? Because the motel is currently owned by Dennis Franz. Not owned, he's being run by Dennis Franz, who is using it for drugs and hookers. And Norman Bates doesn't like this, and it's like, you killed 7 people, sir. So he fires Dennis Franz, like, there will be no more drugs or hookers coming into my motel. I'm like, what in the hell do you think was going on at your motel before?
Right?
So Dennis Franz, I think, is the first to die. And then like a series of killings goes on. Lila Loomis dies, a couple of other people die, and then Robert Loggia dies at the end. He gets all American Horror Storied off the down the stairs. And then Mary, the daughter, is dressed up like his mother. It's like, because she actually thinks, because during the movie she got Stockholm syndromed to Norman.
Yeah.
And she believes that he's the killer now. And she's being like, Norman, what are you doing? And like, she's dressed up as his mother, because, you know, what else are they going to do with this movie? And she has the knife, and she's being like, you are the killer, Norman. And she like has the knife, she's holding it up, and the police get there and be like, oh my gosh, you're the killer. Blam, 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 blam. And gun her the fuck down, and she's dead.
Yep.
So turns out it wasn't Norman or the lady that they murdered in cold blood. Like, no, it was really Norman's mother. And they have this weird shot of Norman's mom going up to the house, and she was being like, and it was like one of the waitresses from the diner that he worked at briefly. And she turns out her name is Emma Spool, and Norma Bates was her sister. And she got pregnant, and so but she gave the baby up to her sister Norma, to raise. And so it never told us, like, really screwed everybody up. So they're having a little mother-son moment, and for some reason, like, oh yes, toasted cheese sandwiches. You mean grilled cheese sandwiches? No, toasted cheese sandwiches. He's making toasted cheese sandwiches, makes them for his mom with, you know, all the Lux and Rinso in his window and all this. Then he hits her. I don't know what she admits to being the killer because she was trying to protect him.
Yeah.
He ends up killing her with a shovel, and she just it doesn't seem like that would have killed her. Like, that shovel to the back of the head, like, yeah, it would have hurt.
That's the movies.
I don't know if it would have killed her. But it does, and he takes her body up to the house, and everything's reset. Like, oh, Norman is back, and he's crazy, and he's killing people with shovels, gonna go Psycho 2, everybody, and that's the end of the movie. That's Psycho 2.
Okay.
Psycho. What's that?
We go ahead, finish your thought, and then we have to do something.
We have to do what?
We have to do something.
Oh, okay. Anyway, there was Psycho 3, which I don't know much about. And then the Psycho 4, I think they just, like, threw all this shit out. Like there's no mention of Emma Spool being, like, her mom, like Norma Bates is his mom. He got out, and, like, I don't know anything about the other Psychos. And then there's the Bates Motel, which I think takes place in like the 2010s, and tells the story of young Norman and Norma, and like they have a brother, and Batman Well is there. But they, oh my gosh, they subvert expectations, and the character who plays Janet Leigh survives and calls the cops, and that's when Norman gets arrested and dies. Spoilers for Bates Motel. 5 seasons to do that garbage.
Yeah. Okay, so we have to do what the hell is James Wan up to?
We do? What?
Yes. We really, really do. I don't know why, but okay, so he posted a thing, and I just saw it the other day.
Is it on X?
I don't know. I saw it on Twitter, or on Facebook, not on Twitter. So I saw this post because of his longevity cocktail, and then in parentheses, living for a long time /supplements. James Wan decided not to retire from the movie business after he directs Birdemic the Musical, but he looks forward to directing Birdemics 4 through 10. Now, that's okay. I'm like, longevity cocktail. What the hell is he talking about? First,
James, stop.
The first thing I saw on his page, when I loaded it up, I have to share my screen because this is insane. It's an AI photo of, well, you'll see. It's, it's.
What the hell? What is he doing? What is this? Okay, so for those of you who can't see, I don't know why anybody would post this. It's Donald Trump in a white. I don't know if that's a wife beater.
It's a wife beater. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and he's having beers with Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, Vladimir Zelensky, and Kim Jong-un. And I don't know why this is happening.
Okay, so he posted that, and it just said, imagine peas. Okay.
Because these are the only countries in the world.
Yeah, so then I scrolled down a little bit farther, and I saw his post about the longevity cocktail, okay?
God.
So this is the recipe that he posted for the longevity cocktail, and I'm going to read this while that's up. Living forever to direct Birdemic 10. James Wan intends to live forever with his longevity cocktail that was based on the research from Dr. David Sinclair, a world-famous, prominent Harvard University researcher in aging and longevity, and enhanced by OpenAI's ChatGPT. James believes if he can live forever, he does not have to retire from the movie business. With the longevity cocktail plus a healthy diet plus exercise, he believes he will live long enough to benefit from advances in medical science, longevity, escape velocity, and cellular reprogramming to live forever. Dr. David Sinclair's longevity and aging research, NMN, metformin, resveratrol, ChatGPT's AI enhancement, Fetessin, and then all this other stuff. Omega-3s, vitamin D, K2, magnesium, and zinc. And then there's a medical disclaimer at the end of this. The information provided here is for general informational and educational purposes and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider, blah, 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 blah.
What? Okay. Explain to me ChatGPT enhanced.
Yeah.
What does that? What? Did he just use ChatGPT to generate that text?
No, to generate the other ingredients in the longevity cocktail. Adding the Fetessin, whatever CoQ10 is, PQQ, omega-3, vitamin D, K2, magnesium, and zinc.
James, ChatGPT doesn't come up with anything on its own. ChatGPT pulls from stuff that is known and already exists. It doesn't have a brain, sir.
Longevity
it does
cocktail.
whatever you think it enhanced. Like now, I will use it to eradicate typos from my my book. It's very good at doing that, but I have to be very specific. It's like, don't change my words except to fix my typos. Don't put extras in it because you make it suck. Just give the text back to me the way it is and maintain my composition, but fix all my stupid mistakes, please. Okay? Like I don't really consider that to be like ChatGPT enhancing the text. But what you're doing, James, is you are trying to make it create something from nothing. Like these extra vitamins or whatever it is that like are thrown into your little forever cocktail, live forever cocktail. Someone already knew that. Someone already knew that and put that information out there so that ChatGPT could pull from it. ChatGPT didn't do any of this.
No.
James, you're not going to live forever.
He's also still opening James sandwiches in Vietnam.
That's a real building. AI was a mistake.
Oh man. So there you go. That's what the hell James wants to. And on that note, we're gonna wrap up things for today.
No, but what? No, but I mean, am I wrong about this ChatGPT thing?
No, not at all.
Okay. My gosh, James, stop! Just stop!
Literally lost his mind at this point. Like, we knew he was delusional, but he has literally lost his actual mind at this point.
This should be my new Facebook profile. My new Facebook profile pic.
Yeah.
Like this is the face I make when we talk about James Wen on the True Blue the True Blue Riffcast.
Oh man. So yeah. That's where we're gonna wrap things up.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's wrap it up.
If you enjoy the podcast, the best way to support us is to give us a follow on Twitch, twitch.tv/TBRiffcast. You can give us a follow. And,
that's you.
And you can also head over to patreon.com/TrueBlueRiffcast if you want to throw a couple dollars a month our way. We'd appreciate that. Otherwise, follow us on whatever podcast platform you listen to us on. Send us a review if you have one. Why not?
Yes,
We'd love to read it on the air. But yeah, you can follow the podcast on different social medias, like Blue Sky at TBRiffcast. No, sorry. At trueblueriffcast.com, which I do still have to update the website because it's very, very out of date. But I'll be working on that eventually. And you can find me everywhere else at PB Awesome.
And I'm Dave. Check me out on Amazon and Audible, and follow me on X at DChadwickAuthor. And yeah.
All right, we'll see you guys next time right here on the True Blue Riffcast.
Rock till you die.